Welcome to T. Lokes, Tucson's local business podcast. I'm your host, L. Connor McEverly, and in each episode, we embark on a journey to connect with the passionate minds behind the businesses and nonprofits that make our community thrive. Join me as I sit down with the owners, visionaries, and change makers who pour their hearts into shaping the local landscape. We explore the challenges, triumphs, and unique journeys that define Tucson's business community. From the corner coffee shop to the innovative startups and impactful nonprofits, T. Lokes is your window into the diverse stories that make our city special. Tune in and get ready to get connected. This is T. Lokes. Howdy, folks, and welcome to T. Lokes, your Tucson local business podcast. I'm your host, L. Connor McEverly, and joining me via virtual chat today is the CEO and founder of STEP, the Student Expedition Program that seeks to educate and empower low-income Arizona high schoolers to enroll and graduate from college. It is my pleasure to introduce to the show Tracy Baines. Hey, Tracy, how are you doing today?
Hi, Connor. It's great to be here with you.
It's great to have you. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'm really excited to talk about STEP.
It's my favorite topic.
Perfect. Well, with that, let's jump right in. So tell me about STEP. What is your mission and what set you on it?
So STEP is a college prep / access and leadership program for low income, first gen to college high school students in Arizona.
Wow.
So I established STEP in 2004. So we're just over 20 years old.
Awesome.
And a kind of a strange way that I came to it. My background was actually in oceanography.
Okay.
And for years I was teaching semesters at sea. So with college students, taking them out on a tall ship into the ocean for a full semester, sailing vessel, and having them take a full load of courses, but then also being a crew member of the ship. So having to get up and do duties throughout the day to keep the ship going. And they're very experiential. I was also working for years as an instructor with Outward Bound and the National Outdoor Leadership School, NOLS.
Yeah.
And so I was doing a lot of experiential-based programming. And I was finding after years of doing this that I was mostly working with wealthy kids.
Right.
And I started to wonder where everybody else was. And I looked into education statistics, and I saw a persistent and large educational achievement gap between high income and low income students.
Yeah.
And when you see something like that, you know that's not on ability alone. You know something else is going on there.
Definitely.
And so I took some time because I'm, kind of got that research mindset. I took some time to really talk to educators, high school educators, counselors, teachers, principals, vice principals. And I said, what is going on with this statistic? Yeah. And they said, there's so many kids. And this was a common theme as I was talking to people. There's so many kids that we know whose picture comes to our mind that were doing everything right. They were taking the most challenging courses. They were doing really well. Everybody thought they were on track to go to college, and they didn't go to college. Mm. And when I heard that over and over again, I said, gosh, that's who I want to work with. I want to work with the kids who are ready and willing to work hard, who are dedicated to, kind of using education to potentially break generational poverty, right?
Right.
And nobody's guiding them, and nobody's paying attention to them because they're also not causing any problems, right? So then I thought, well, gosh, I want to get them out on one of these experiences. I don't need to reinvent that wheel, right? The National Outdoor Leadership School, incredible organization,
absolutely,
has been doing this for decades. And really it's at the top of the field of kind of leadership training I'll just say, to give you a little background on them, the entire time the shuttle program was in existence, every shuttle team went and did a NOLS expedition.
Wow.
As part of their training before they went up into space. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So you just know this organization really has their act together, right? So I reached out to NOLS and I said, hey, would you be interested in partnering with me? And they were.
Nice.
And we have had a partnership now for 20 years that is really incredible. And we've gotten, gosh, to date, 497 Arizona students on an expedition in the wilderness of Alaska sea kayaking.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's been a super great partnership. We started there, STEP started there,
Right.
okay, which was, and I hate to say but just the expedition, which was a
Right.
3-week, very intense,
Yeah.
life transforming, no doubt, expedition in the wilderness of Alaska, right?
Yeah.
They gained so much confidence. There's just so much involved with that. But the whole goal was to give them the confidence to go on to college.
Right.
And I was finding, as I was really bonding with our students, because I was a NOLS instructor on all of the initial expeditions we did with NOLS.
Yeah.
And so I really bond with our students. We were out there for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And they said, I'd say, where are you going to apply to school? And they'd say their local community college and maybe an Arizona State University, or often Stanford, right?
Wow.
This is what they would say. And I kept thinking, gosh, there's more options they don't know about.
Yeah.
Right? And then one time I asked a student where she was going to apply to school, and she said the local community college and Smith College.
Okay.
And I knew that she only knew Smith College because it had come out of my mouth. It was one of my alma maters, right?
Yeah.
So she doesn't know Smith College from anything, but because she trusted me, she was like, I'm going to apply to Smith College. I was so excited. I said, oh, show me your transcript, right? And I looked at her transcript. I saw straight A's, okay?
Nice, yeah.
Not a single challenging course. So she had gone through 4 years of high school, getting straight A's, coming from a low-income background, and no educator had looked at that girl and said, we need to put her in an honors or an AP course.
Wow, yeah.
And I looked at the transcript, my heart, fell, because I was she's not going to be qualified to go to Smith. She doesn't have the rigor. That's the straw that broke the camel's back for me. When I was like, okay, in 2011, I said, we have to jump in the deep end of the pool, and we have to become a multi-year college prep program to guide our students through what the students and the parents through the process of preparing for college, financial aid, applying to college, all of that. And in addition, we're going to have this really life-transforming leadership expedition in the summer between their junior and senior year to really give them the confidence to do that.
Nice.
So that's how it all evolved.
Right.
And now we are incredibly comprehensive. Students apply to our program in their sophomore year of high school.
Wow.
And we work with them all the way through graduating high school and getting into their top choice, which now is a much bigger range of choices with us.
Nice. Great. Yeah, that's an awesome mission, really. That's really awesome. And I'm familiar with NOLS, with the National Outdoor Leadership School. As we mentioned before recording, I'm a NOLS alumni myself. I went to New Zealand back in like 2012, and that was easily a life-changing experience.
Yes, you know exactly what our students, have experienced out there, and it really
100%.
is.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I saw one of the pictures in the media kit that your team sent me of a kid holding up a fry bake with some like biscuits, and that sent me back. I missed the fry bake.
It's amazing how well you can cook in the wilderness. Really.
Seriously, we were like making pizza out there. It was crazy.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you totally have a great point, because being part of that program, like everyone's background was, they came from a wealthier background. I mean, like even my father was a emergency physician, so like I was fortunate enough to be able to go and do something like that and go through like such a life-changing experience. And I think it's really awesome that you reached out and you found a certain demographic of people who aren't having this life-changing experience, and you not only did you help folks get out there into the wilderness and take them on expeditions, but then you went an extra step and you made this a larger program to help get kids into college, kids who absolutely have the skills and and the knowledge and the ethic.
And the work ethic,
100%.
the grit. I mean, these are incredible young people.
Yeah.
And I want to say, our goal, and I say this because it's a really important distinction, is not just to get students to college, but to get them successfully through college with a college degree.
Right.
And so a lot of what we're doing through the expedition and also throughout our yearly program is really working on self-advocacy skills, for example, right?
Yeah.
So that when they do now go to college, we really want them to be able to take it from here and be able to navigate all those challenges that college is going to have for them and life in general.
Definitely.
And be able to get through that and reach out to the resources they need, so that they are successful, right? Because we know a lot of people go to college and don't get through college.
Yeah.
We want our students to get through college and get a college degree.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's more important than just going to college, is going through college.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get that piece of paper.
Yeah. So, you kind of briefly mentioned like the timeline of this program, like students start in junior year, but I guess, would you mind kind of delving into that in a little bit more detail? Just kind of the timeline, when the kids start and kind of the phases of
so they actually join us in their sophomore year of high school.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed.
Sophomore year. Yeah. So they apply. So we, in the fall of every year, we do a large outreach to high schools throughout the metropolitan Tucson and Phoenix areas. And then even like we have students coming from Nogales and Rio Rico. And, as long as the student can get to our workshops on the weekends, and we give workshops once a month on a weekend, then they can, apply to our program. And we don't have any partner high schools. Anybody can apply, but we do a massive outreach where we go and we're talking to students at these high schools and to tell them about the STEP program and introduce them to the application, give them application tips, etc. So in the fall of their sophomore year, we're looking for sophomores when we're doing these outreach presentations. We go and we give a presentation. We walk them through everything, and then they apply. And that application is typically due in right before Thanksgiving.
Gotcha.
So right now, if you were to go on our website to our apply page, you would see that the application's not open, but it's going to be opening around October 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and then students apply. And then we're reviewing all these applications. Now, I will tell you, Connor, the application is no small thing. And it's kind of, we start our training right then, even in the application. It requires 6 or 7 essays. Wow. So if a student looks at that application and says, that's too much work for me, then they're probably not a good fit for STEP. We're looking for those students. If you were to ask me one thing I'm looking for, I need them to be willing to take the hardest courses, do the hard work to excel in their schoolwork. But I'm looking for internal motivation. Yeah. Right. I can give through, STEP can give students a lot. They can give them greater confidence, right? A larger worldview. We can take them through guiding them through that process, but what we can't do is give another human being internal motivation. Yeah. Right. And so that's through those essays, that's what we're looking for, right? And we're looking for that they put some effort into this application. And so then we're choosing our class, and they start with us in February. And we do an orientation, a really intense orientation with them and their parents. So the parents understand what they're what's going to be happening over the next 2.5 years. Of the program. Because we really we really say to the families, this is a family affair. You really have to be on board with being able to get your child to our workshops, being able to maybe even schedule your vacations around STEP workshops, right? We really need the students to actually be involved. And then we start right away in introducing them to schools around the country. I will say this, the only schools, we have great Arizona universities, and we have quite a good percentage of our students every year going to our Arizona universities. The only other schools we expose our students to are those that guarantee to meet students' full financial need. Okay? So if a family's financial need is everything, these schools will completely cover that.
Wow.
Okay. So it
Great.
becomes affordable for our students.
Yeah.
It just happens that those schools in the country that guarantee to meet full financial need if you are admitted,
Yeah.
they just happen to be the top ranked schools in the country.
Just so happens.
It just so we're not choosing those schools because they're top
Right.
ranked. That's a really important distinction. We're choosing them because they meet full financial need.
Well, totally. And that seems like a really crucial piece in STEP, right? I mean, college is expensive. I mean,
Absolutely.
so many people out there with student loans can tell you that. And
Yes.
so, for low income households to go to college, to go through this whole program, like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's super important for that to be paid for, to get
Yeah.
like a full ride.
I think parents walk out of our orientation going, "Oh my gosh, there is actually a pathway for my child to go to college and to
Yeah.
go to an amazing institution." And so it really is. It's something that I think needs to be talked about more because we talk a lot, on the national scene about,
Yeah.
debt, college debt. It's so huge. What we don't talk about is there is a pathway for low income families if the student is willing to work hard, take the most challenging courses because you
Yeah.
have to be able to deal with the rigor at these schools.
Yeah.
But again, if you show through your academic performance that the school believes you can handle that rigor,
Right.
they are ready to fund you, basically ready to make it affordable for you to attend their institution.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
And
we
yeah.
start introducing and then there's so much we do throughout the year.
Yeah.
We just did, we just this past weekend had workshops where 10 admission directors from around the country
Wow.
flew in to specifically talk directly with our students.
Wow.
And we introduced them to the Common Application, which is the
Yeah.
application you use for most of the out-of-state schools. We're encouraging them to complete their Arizona applications, but we also do, we do writing workshops, we do ACT prep, we do that self-advocacy, skill building,
Right.
team building. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, we have a workshop every month for every month that they are in school for the entire time they're with us. And
Gotcha.
every single workshop is just packed full of information for our students.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Absolutely.
I want to say also for the
Yeah.
parents, they come to the orientation, so they really know what STEP's about. And
Right.
then we have two very content rich workshops in the fall of the student's senior year where it's all about financial aid. And we're
Right.
taking not only the students, but the parents through that entire process. And
Yeah.
I got to tell you, after doing this for 20 years, I don't know how any low-income family navigates a financial aid process without somebody like STEP in their lives.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I have only heard that financial aid can be a really tricky thing to navigate.
Yeah.
And so having that help is invaluable, really. So, going beyond just, I mean, and I can't say just, but going beyond the workshops that you put on, I'm curious to know a little bit more about the outdoor side of things. I mean, obviously, I have experienced Knowles. I know it's pretty fantastic, but I want to know from your perspective, how do you see outdoor living and outdoor expeditions empowering youth?
So let me just backtrack for a second. I want to make sure that your listeners understand we're not just doing monthly workshops. We're actually individually advising the students throughout this entire 2.5 years. Okay,
Got
so
you.
just so
Yes.
you know
Thank
that
you.
that's part of our college prep program.
Yeah.
So how does the question was how does the outdoors?
Yeah. How do you see outdoor living and outdoor expeditions empowering youth?
Okay, well, this is what we know, Connor. You and I can say to a young person until we're blue in the face, you can do anything you want to do.
Yeah.
And if it's just another adult, an adult saying this to a young person, it's just going right over their heads, just going right
Yeah.
through them, right?
Yeah.
The only way, and I feel that this is the way with any human being, I don't low income, high income, whatever income they're coming from, whatever country they're coming from, et cetera. I think really a human being builds confidence to take risks by being willing to step outside of your comfort zone and then gaining that confidence through actually taking a risk.
Yeah.
And then the next opportunity that comes along that is perceived as a risk or perceived as outside of my comfort zone,
Right.
I'm much more likely to take that opportunity if I've already had an experience that I went outside my comfort zone a little and it turned out well. Right.
Right.
And so this is essentially what this is. I don't know if you're familiar with Joseph Campbell at all and
Little bit, yeah.
the hero's journey,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you see this in cultures throughout where there's a rite of passage into adulthood, right?
Yeah.
And it often includes challenges
100%.
within that. And
Yeah.
that is essentially what we're doing. I mean, it's definitely
Yeah.
it's essentially the hero's journey that these students are going on, right? So
Yeah.
when they first go to Alaska, first of all, we're taking desert urban kids. Think about this for a second.
Yeah.
Up into the wilderness of Alaska, and they're going on a 3-week sea kayaking expedition in Prince William Sound, Alaska. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
Literally, that is about as far outside their comfort zone as you could imagine. And what I like to say is, if I could have put them on the moon, I would have. But this is about as far outside their comfort zone as you can imagine coming from Arizona, right?
Totally. Yeah.
They're flying up to Alaska. We give them a really thorough orientation, but it's funny. All our students will say after they got up there, well, you didn't tell us anything, because it's hard to even wrap your mind around what that's going to be. It's so outside your known world, right?
Yeah.
And when they first get up there, I mean, Alaska in the summertime is gorgeous.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of rain.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of rain. And sometimes it can rain straight for 5 days, right?
Yep.
And there's bugs and it's cold and it's just a completely different environment.
Oh yeah.
And so they get up there, and I should mention something else about our expeditions, which is they do not, when they are out there for 3 weeks, they have no access to their cell phone.
Yeah.
So there's no ability to call family, call parents, whatever. And just disconnecting from the cell phone is so incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Because then they start interacting with each other, really, more than being consumed by the phone, right?
Totally.
So they get up there, they get taken to the Knowles campus in Palmer, Alaska, and they do a full day there of getting ready for the expedition and getting outfitted and getting all their food together, right?
Yeah.
And then they get on a bus and they go through the tunnel to Whittier into Prince William Sound. And I would say probably 8 times out of 10, it's probably pouring down rain, right?
Yeah.
And they get on a boat that takes them out to a wilderness beach, a big power boat. They load all their kayaks, all the gear, everything. There's 3 instructors per 12 students. So very well taken care of, right? With experts, Knowles experts.
Yep.
And they get dumped on a wilderness beach and they put all their gear on the beach and that boat leaves.
Yep.
Okay. And I have been on that beach. I have been on that beach with our students when that happens. And it's pouring down rain. There's no facilities. It's just the beach, the woods, the mountains, and the boats leaving, and all their stuff's on the shore, right?
Yeah.
And I tell you, if I've looked around and looked at the faces and thought, if I gave them a go home free card right now, every single one of them would take it.
Oh yeah.
And they're all thinking in their heads, I've made a big mistake.
Yeah.
Like a huge mistake. Like, how can I get out of here? And then they spend the first week, I will say, is typically our students are discombobulated.
Oh yeah.
Right. Now they're being taught, again, 3 Knowles instructors, very, very much experts in the whole experience, right?
Right.
They're being led. They're taught how to camp, how to kayak, how to cook on a 1-burner stove, how to, personal hygiene out there, everything. They're taught everything by experts, but still it's way out their comfort zone, way outside their comfort zone.
Yeah.
And it can be pretty challenging conditions. So the first week, they're just thinking this is probably the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Right? And then that second week, they know how to kayak. They know how to pitch their tent. They know what the routine is. They know how to cook good meals because, you were on a Knowles expedition.
Yeah.
It's a lot about baking.
Yes.
I will honestly say I eat better on a Knowles expedition than I often eat at home because I'm
Yeah.
I'm freshly baking bread and biscuits and pizza dough and
Yeah.
and all the good the ration that Knowles gives, Knowles courses is just
Yeah.
fantastic, right? So
Absolutely.
you can make excellent meals, right? So that second week, they're starting to feel comfortable. They're making empanadas, they're making
Yeah.
homemade tortillas. They're feeling really comfortable out there.
Yeah.
That third week is when they really start to thrive. They
Yeah.
start to thrive. They're leading their peers. They're leading the entire expedition. Every student does at least one, and most do two, days on the water where they're the designated leader
Yeah.
of the whole expedition. And of
Right.
course, the instructors have showed them how to do that, how to work with the charts, how to put together a route, that sort of thing.
Totally.
And when that happens, when you get to that level, you really have that journey, that whole 3-week journey. I mean, I will tell you that most of our students do not want to leave Alaska
Yeah. I
when they get
imagine.
to the end, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because now they're thriving out there, and they really are pushing they're really recognizing how they themselves can be a leader and what a good leader is, and that kind of
Yeah.
not just their self leadership, peer leadership, being the designated leader, but then being a great follower too, right? They really
Yeah.
see it all come together,
Yeah.
and they are literally transformed by the time they come back.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that our parents, when they come back to Arizona, the parents are thinking, wow, what happened to my child? Like, they
Yeah.
left a child and they came back a mini adult,
Yeah.
ready to help their
Yeah.
family, help their parents, right? Because
Yeah.
they were out there doing everything. They couldn't rely on their mom and their dad and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it really is massive. And I think when any individual goes through that kind of experience, and that's why, an organization like Knowles is it's just such a tremendous thing, because whether you're a high schooler or you're in college or you're an adult,
Yeah.
like, anybody goes on a Knowles expedition, their life is going to be positively transformed. I will tell
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah. I can confirm. I can
Yeah,
confirm.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's very powerful. And of course, they're coming back now and they're jumping right into their senior year.
Right.
So it's a beautiful time for us to have that experience for the students to have that experience, because
Yeah.
now they've got that confidence to go and really put together a great college list and, apply to flying programs where they may be flying across the country and maybe visiting a college for 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's kind of perfect timing for their journey through the college preparation and application process. Also, I will tell you this also,
Yeah.
the parents, it's a beautiful thing for the parents too, because often this is the first time where the parents really had to let go,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And this might be the first time when their child has been away from home ever,
Yeah.
first time on a plane, right? So not only are they taking that leap of faith with us, and it is a tremendous leap of faith that the parents take with us to say, yes, I'm going to let my child go on this Step Knowles expedition for 3 weeks in Alaska,
Yeah.
but I'm going to trust you enough that I'm not going to be able to contact them for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tremendous, right? So
Definitely.
they do that, and then they see how positively transformed their child is when they came back.
Yeah.
And that allows them to recognize that if their child flies across the country to go to college, that they should let that happen.
Yeah.
Right? That they shouldn't stand in the way of that. If that's what that young person wants, that if they can let go, it's going to lead to good things.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. No, that makes sense to me too. Totally. That's interesting. Yeah, especially considering, like the parent, how the parent transforms in the experience as well.
Yes, and the bottom line is this is a family affair. Like a student can be admitted to Harvard and have that be their number one choice and be ready to go. If their single mom doesn't want them going, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. So the parents you have to kind of bring the parents along this journey and get them to a place where they are okay with the student being able to fully take the journey they want to take.
Totally. Absolutely. Now, I want to hop in our time machine for a moment, and I want to go back to the very early days of STEP, where you were taking a risk, right? Where you were starting STEP and you weren't sure, right? But I want to know, what was one of your first moments during this time of achievement where you felt like, oh yeah, this is gonna work?
Well, it's interesting. I think because of the experience I had with all these programs, I knew if I was able to get Arizona students up on a NOLS expedition, I already knew from years of experience as a NOLS instructor what impact that would have. What I didn't know starting, and I think this is just a shout out to anybody that kind of starts something new like this. I think there's a lot of people that will tell you all the reasons why it's not going to work.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just people love to tell you. And, people would tell me, you've never been in the nonprofit sector. You don't know a bunch of people that have a bunch of money. Like, how are you going to raise the money? You actually haven't never worked with high school students before. I'd only worked with college students. Right? You're an oceanographer. What are you doing? Like, this is, madness. Yeah. And I just absolutely knew in my bones that this would have a very positive impact on the young people that I wanted to serve, right? And so I was hugely determined and pretty much just didn't pay attention to the naysayers. Yeah. So I think when somebody starts something like this, you just have to have the mindset of, it'd be very easy to go down the worry hole and just say, there's all these reasons why this isn't going to work, right?
Yeah.
And I think you just have to stick with the passion that you have for what you're trying to do, and just the mantra of, like, I'm just going to do the good work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to do the work to make this happen. And so I think when we got initially enough funding, we had our first 9 kids go on expedition.
Yeah.
And I think once I was able to put that together and make that happen, then I knew, we can do this thing. So it just is. Yeah. But I mean, I think it's, you just can't get consumed about all the reasons it might fail. You just have to work on doing the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's something I would tell my students too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just do the work.
Yeah.
It's really it's talking to a lot of people. It's getting that word out. It's like, this is my idea. This is what I want to do. Let's go do this thing,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's good advice, really, over a multitude of different sort of topics or disciplines. Is like,
100%.
Nate, like, it's like that saying, everyone's a critic. And there's always, you can always think of the 1,000 ways that it's not going to work out, but you really have to focus on, like, the one way it will. You know what I mean?
Right. And, there's other people that are telling you it's not going to work. Yeah. But I think most of us, the biggest thing that we have to kind of not pay attention to is us thinking it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Right. Our internal voice would say, hey, these are all the reasons why it's not going to work.
100%.
You just gotta shut that down. You just gotta shut that off.
Yeah.
And the way you do that is by focusing on doing the work.
Yep.
And then I will say one more thing. And
this
is what I say to my students too, is the thing that allowed me to do this is because I had the education I had.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think this is one of the biggest things about what education gives you is it gives you the ability to take the risk to do something that might take a couple of years to really develop and put together and do. Yeah. I always knew I could go back to teaching oceanography. Like I always had that to go back to. Yeah. But with that in mind, I could then go ahead and take this risk because it does take a couple of years to get something off the ground where you're going to even be able to make any kind of living out of it, right? You take that risk, but it was the education that allows you to do that. And I say that to my students. It's like, this is what education gives you. It gives you the opportunity to be able to really follow your passions. And even if it's not in the thing that you got the degree in.
Yeah.
Right. When I was teaching college, for example, I think there's 3 things you get out of college. Mm-hmm. Like I was teaching oceanography and marine biology, right? Really, anybody can read a book
Yeah.
and get that information.
Right.
Watch specials, read a book, read, whatever.
Right.
But it's three things. It's the ability to give a presentation,
Yeah.
to present in public,
Hmm.
the ability to write and write well,
Yeah.
and the ability to, what was the third thing? Now I'm spacing. Critically think,
Yeah. Big one.
right?
Yeah.
So those three things. Now think about those three things, Connor. Can present, can write well, can critically think. You just think of any professional job, it requires all three of those things.
Yeah.
So really, it's about preparing young adults for career and
Mhm.
being able to pivot in whatever way they want to as they go through their career. It gives them that skill set.
Totally. Yeah. And that's an also really fair thing to say too with college. Like my degree is not what I do now,
Exactly.
but I've learned invaluable things and like learned how to think and how to organize and how to, so
And how to
absolutely.
write. And
Yeah.
yes, those really key skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's super important. So, you mentioned before that you like really work with colleges that will help provide like a full ride for the students, and I'm sure that there are some listeners right now who are interested, but they might be concerned about some other costs, like Knowles is a costly thing. So what is your approach to keeping costs low for the students and families that you help?
Well, this is one of the beautiful things about the way we have approached this, right? There are
Yeah.
other organizations out there that are all about like, let's raise scholarship dollars
Yeah.
so we can help our families and these students go to college, right? We
Right.
took a very different approach,
Okay.
which is we're we're making sure that we're working on take the most challenging courses, right? To excel with that rigor, to get it deeply involved in a few activities, or to recognize that family responsibilities are an activity, that sort of thing, like,
Yeah.
right? So that they are attractive to the institutions that will fully pay for them.
Yeah.
Does
Okay.
that make sense? So
Mhm.
it's not like we're giving them money. What we're giving them is a skill set and a background and the rigor and et cetera for those
Right.
schools to be very interested in them, because you have to be, at a level where they want to admit you, because they want to make sure that you can deal with their rigor, et cetera, right?
Right.
So in that way, we don't, we're not depending on a great amount of scholarship dollars coming in, because I mean, these schools are, 70, 80, 90,000 in scholarship money.
Yeah.
I mean, I say to my students and families, I say, listen, think about that. That's like getting a $90,000 job right out of high school.
Yeah.
Think about that, right?
Yeah.
And that school is willing to do that for 4 years. So if you do the math, that's like $360,000.
Yeah.
Over $250,000 that school is willing to invest in you for you to get a college degree at their institution. It's
Right.
tremendous, right?
Yeah. Seriously.
And so that's how you keep costs down, right?
Yeah.
And I'll just, again, another shout out to Knowles. I mean, they are not only a partner with us in doing this, but they're a funding partner of ours. So
Wow.
they fully fund half of the tuition of the students. So our tuition cost for Knowles basically is halved, because
Yeah.
Knowles is willing to come in with scholarships also.
Great.
So, and then we also, I should tell you, in the summer between the student sophomore and junior year, we have college partners that we work with.
Okay.
Washington University in St. Louis, Carleton College, Kenyon College, who also have summer programs, and we work with them to dually fund the opportunity for our students to spend 2 to 3 weeks on a college campus and have their first experience on a college campus, taking a college course and living in the dorms, et cetera. So
Yeah.
again, it's just much more, it's very comprehensive.
Yeah.
And so that's how, but again, affordability is key for our families.
Totally.
And so that's the approach we've taken to this, and it's worked out really well.
Great.
And I will just say also, in 20 years, we've never received any government funding.
Wow. Nice.
So You know,
Yeah.
it's all individuals and family foundations that are
Wow.
funding our program because they believe so strongly in the generational breaking of generational poverty through success in higher education.
Yeah.
And we find ourselves working with lots of younger siblings from the
Yeah.
initial siblings that came into our program,
Nice.
cousins.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then even peers that our students are working with at their high schools, they're
Yeah.
spreading the information that STEP is providing.
Yeah.
And you know, when those students graduate from college and then eventually have a family of their own, you know their kids are going to college.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it really is a ripple effect from what the individual students we work with, it just ripples out from there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and it just seems like a really great program. I mean, very uplifting, going through a lot of these experiential experiences to really help get these kids like out of their shell
Absolutely.
and show them like the grit and resilience that they have. Like it's there. They have it. You know,
Exactly.
they just have to be able to like see it themselves.
Yeah.
So
And
I think
one of the things that happens is opportunities come your way,
yeah.
right? Do you have the confidence and do you have the past experience in taking out to take that opportunity, to take what perceives like, okay, I'm stepping outside of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big part of what the expedition does is um, give them that confidence to go away to an amazing school,
Yeah.
to take opportunities of internships or fellowships, or just
Totally.
taking a course that they might be slightly intimidated about. It's just like so many opportunities will open up to them, but they
Yeah.
have to be willing to take it. And this is what the expedition helps with.
Absolutely. That's great.
Yeah.
So I want to shift gears a little bit again. And I want to ask, it seems like you guys are having this great success with your students. But I want to know, what are some challenges that you are facing right now, or what are maybe some misconceptions that people have about what you do?
That's interesting. Challenges that we as an organization
Yes,
face,
that you as an
or
organization are facing. Yeah.
I think I think we're in a very challenging time now where
Mhm.
I will say this. The students that, and from the get-go, I've lived it. The
Yeah.
students that I work with are incredible gems.
Yeah.
They are having to, the fact that they, with everything that they deal with, when you're coming from a low income background, there are so many challenges, just day-to-day challenges, right?
Yeah.
A lot of our students are really have to take on the responsibilities of taking care of younger siblings. They might have to get a job to help pay the bills.
Hmm.
There's financial stress in their family.
Right.
There's separation of family members from each other.
Hmm.
There's just so much that they're dealing with. When you think about everything that they deal with and the fact that they are actually going to school, taking hard courses and doing well in those courses, doing the hard work to do well in those courses, I mean, these are absolute gems.
Yeah.
And so it breaks my heart when people can look at a group of people and put some kind of judgment on them that they are less than. There's real challenge for our students in going into spaces where they might feel like they don't belong, and they
Yeah.
absolutely do belong, right?
Yeah.
And this imposter syndrome that anybody can feel, um,
Totally.
if you feel like maybe uh, you're in a space that is just very different,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's challenges our students have that are very, very real.
Yeah.
um, I think what on the other end of the spectrum,
Yeah.
I am continuously thankful and just so appreciative to the folks that really support us, that make STEP possible by
Yeah.
don't with their donations, to be honest with you. And we have donors that are long-term donors because I think they see that throughout our 20 years, our whole goal has been continuously to just make our program better, to
Yeah.
bring more resources to our students, to always think about how can we do this better? How can we do this better?
Mhm.
And we haven't done mission creep, right? So we haven't thought, well, we do this well, now we're going to do everything else. Like we've
Yeah.
really stayed true to our mission.
Right.
And I think when you see the success of our students, literally 96% of our college prep program alumni are in college or have a college degree.
That's amazing. That's an
So when
amazing
you see that
statistic. Yeah.
success, you want to invest in that success. And I really think that that's way I think about it, and I think our donors think about it, is we want to, everybody wants to leave this earth thinking they've done something to
Yeah,
positively impact it.
definitely.
And I think that that we can show that if this is your interest, just to support an organization that really works in this realm,
Yeah.
we are doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And for some folks who are listening right now and they want to get involved, or maybe maybe they want to get their kids enrolled, where can they go?
Well, if you're interested in supporting our work, or if you're a high school student or a family member that that's interested in their high school sophomore getting involved with us and doing our
Yeah.
program, our website is fantastic. If you just Google Step College Prep, or you Google Step Expedition, either of those, we're going to pop right to the top of that Google search. And you
Great.
can go to our website, and there's an apply page for those that are interested in applying to our program. We have really wonderfully laid out pages all about our program.
Yeah.
My contact information is also on that. So it's really a great place to see what we're doing and then how to actually apply to our program for those students. And again,
Right.
yeah, go and like our application will be opening in early October if you're a sophomore this year. And if you have a
Fantastic.
freshman or an eighth grader or whatnot,
Yeah.
keep this in your radar screen
Yeah.
and encourage that student to take the most challenging courses as they move towards their sophomore year. Yeah.
Great, great. And folks, we will have links to Step Expedition's website in the episode notes. So if you want to go and check out the episode notes, you can get in contact there. Great. Tracy, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. I have a couple more questions for you. One is, do you have any events coming up in the near future that people should keep an eye out for?
We do have an event coming up at the beginning of the year. We're going to be doing a breakfast, basically, to highlight our program and to hopefully bring our program to new folks that might want to support us. And so we can get you that information, Connor. It's going to be in January of 2026. And to be honest with you, we've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've done an event.
Really? Nice.
Like this, yes. So we're very excited about this breakfast.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Great, great. Yeah, folks, we'll have the information for you in the episode notes as well. And Tracy, I have one more question for you. It's probably the hardest question I ask in this podcast, but it's also the question I ask everyone who comes through these proverbial doors. What is one thing out of the many that you love about Tucson?
Oh, I love so much about Tucson.
I know. That's why it's hard.
What is the one thing I love about Tucson? I love that it feels I've lived here since 95, so it's the longest place I've ever lived in my life. So I really am. I do love Tucson.
Yeah.
I think it feels like it's a big city, but it feels like a small community.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's so many people doing wonderful things in our city. It feels really like a good place to be.
I have to agree with you there. Absolutely. Definitely a very caring community.
Absolutely.
And a lot of really dedicated people doing really wonderful work, you included, Tracy. So thank you so much for coming on the show today and talking to us more about Step Expedition and how you help low-income kids go through college and have life-changing experiences.
Thank you, Connor. It's been a pleasure to be here with you.
And that's a wrap for another episode of T-Lokes, your go-to podcast for uncovering the untold stories of Tucson's local businesses and nonprofits. I want to offer a huge thank you to Tracy Baines from Step Expedition for coming on the show today and talking about how she started Step, why she started Step, and just thank her for the work that she's doing. There are a lot of really intelligent, hardworking people out there, and it's really awesome to see a program that empowers these kids to get through college, get degrees, and also find the confidence within themselves through experiencing the great outdoors. So if you're looking for ways to contribute to STEP or you want to get your kid enrolled, check out those episode notes and get in contact. A big thank you to Louis Sanders from Sound Monk Studios for composing the awesome T-Lokes theme music. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to stay connected with Tucson's vibrant business scene, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback is invaluable, and it helps us continue bringing you engaging conversations. As we wrap up, remember that T-Lokes isn't just a podcast, it's a community. Let's keep the conversation going on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or our Discord channel and share your thoughts, suggestions, or even recommend a local business or nonprofit you'd like to see featured on the show. Thank you once again for being a part of the T-Lokes community. Until next time, stay connected, stay inspired, and keep supporting the heartbeat of Tucson. Toodaloo.